Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm so inspired by autumn at the moment. The colours are just amazing. All the leaves are just falling, so you're walking through golden, reds, oranges on the ground. It's just beautiful. So this has inspired me to do a painting today. I'm going to do a swipe with Australian floetrol as a cell activator in totally autumn colours. I'm going to let it dry and then I'm going to embellish it. I've picked up some leaves from the ground and I'm going to draw around them and then colour or do some painting around the edge of them to create some beautiful leaves so that you'll have the effect of some leaves. I'm going to try and have some leaves overlapping. I'm going to try and do some shadowing. I'm not really sure yet. I don't know how it's going to pan out, but some really beautiful swiped leaves. Here are my autumn colours. So I've got Pebeo Studio Acrylics Iridescent Orange, Iridescent Gold. I've got bronze. Which bronze is that? I think it's Amsterdam bronze. Daler Rowney Cadmium Yellow Deep Hue, Montmartre Old Mauve, and oh no, that one was copper. Sorry, so that's Pebeo Studio Acrylics Copper. This one is the Amsterdam bronze. I probably won't use both copper and bronze, but I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to use. So these bottles I fill up with Dutch pour consistency paint. I put the floetrol in, I put the paint in, I put the water in, and then I just give it a really good shake so it mixes. So I'll put the recipe for the mixture in the description, but it's all mixed to my to my Dutch pour consistency. And then I've got some white cell activator, which is made 3 parts Australian floetrol and to 1 part white titanium white paint by Amsterdam. This canvas is a 30 by 42 centimetre. I've put push pins in the back. I get these from Amazon. They're jumbo push pins, and then I've hammered them in and then checked that the canvas is level, which it is. My plan for this pour is just to simply drizzle the colours all over. I quite like all the colours kind of overlapping and mixing up. I don't really want blocks of one particular colour. I quite like them all mixing up together. So I'm just going to really have fun, just pour the colours on, see what I get. I'm also contemplating a bit of white, pearl white, although I might not. I don't know yet. So I've got the iridescent gold here to start with. Just give it a quick shake before I pour it on. So I just sort of imagine just lots of lines. Right, have I got enough paint? I think I might have. So I'm just going to tilt it around just to get all the canvas covered, and that will just help the colours just to mix and blend a little bit. Right, so I now know I've got a really nice even coverage of paint on there, nice and smooth, nice and even. I am just going to add a tiny bit of the bronze, just in little places where I feel that there's blocks of colour, just to split it up a little bit. Right, I'm just checking I can see every colour, which I can. So you've got the gold, orange, the copper, the yellow, the red. Yeah, I think I'm there. So to start swiping, in fact, I'm just going to mix this. Australian floetrol separates, so when you mix it up you have to give it a really good shake in the bottle before you mix it. This is already mixed with the white, so I just want to give it another really good shake before I use it, just in case it separates. So I'm just going to put a line of it onto my worktop. I'm going to swipe with plastic. It's just quite nice and flimsy. And I'm just going to dip the end of the plastic into the cell activator, so I've got a nice line on the end there. And then I'm going to, which way shall I do it? I think I'm going to go the short distance, and I'm going to do slightly wiggly lines. So I'm just putting it on the edge. Right, something strange happened then. I think it was because of the angle that I'm holding this at. It didn't swipe properly. I think I need to turn it round. So I really like this bit upwards because of the variation. This bit here just seems a bit boring. So I'm actually just going to add a little bit more colour and just swipe this end again, I think. These colours are absolutely perfect. Let me show you up close. The lacing is just stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I added more paint to this bottom section, because now you've got some beautiful variation within the colours. I have swiped, I think, slightly too much, because the downside of swiping again is that you're pulling through steles and lacing that's already there, so you're breaking it up. But the results of this are beautiful. I'm not worried about the edges. I'm not worried that it all has to look absolutely perfect, because I'm going to be doing a lot of embellishing. So I will totally change the appearance of this. I think that has to be my favourite section. Yeah, really happy. So I'll be back when this is dry for part 2. So just before I pack up, I've just had an idea. When I put that last painting away in my drying rack, I just had the feeling that it was all very, very fluid and quite runny. And I think that's why I had some trouble with the swiping in it. I had to re-swipe bits. So I've just poured, from my bottle, I've just poured a little bit of the paint into a paper cup. And then I've just added a little bit more of the actual paint. So this is now not my Dutch pour consistency, it's now thicker. So I've basically thickened up every paint. I don't have a recipe, I just squeezed a little bit of extra in just so it gives this quite nice thick consistency. So what I'd like to do is just go again, same size canvas, go again, but with these thicker paints, and just see what happens. I just feel like it might hold the lacing a little bit better. So yeah, just going to give it a try. So because it's thicker, I'm going to have to stretch it out a bit more. It's going to be a little bit more tricky, I think, to stretch out. I might even have to dab the canvas just to make sure all the canvas gets covered. Right, so far it's looking completely different. There's much bigger blocks of colour, so it'll be interesting to see how what effect that has. So I'm just going to do exactly the same again. Right, it's really interesting, and I've got really mixed results, or mixed feelings about it. So where I first put the swiper down, the cell activator down, I've got the most amazing cells. But then towards the end, the cell activator obviously has run out and I'm just smearing the colours. So the first bits are beautiful, but then it seems to fade. So I'm just looking at that and just trying to decide whether I just want to add a bit more or try and get a bit more, just, yeah, or add or just leave it. I don't particularly like all the white, but I think over time that white is going to disappear a bit more. So considering I did so many swipes on this, I'm actually really happy. I think I'm happier with this one than the first one. And the reason for that is there's just more detail. There's a lot more variation in cells. So you've got bigger cells here and then they fade to smaller. But then you've got some this side, it's much choppier than the other one. But I think for what I'm wanting, for what the plan I've got for this painting, I think this is going to work much better actually. So I will let them both dry and I will show you them both and then decide what I'd like to do. I'm happy with adding the swipe right in the centre and swiping out again because the white does fade. And actually, if you blow on it, in fact, it's almost gone. So I blew on it there and there with a straw and you can see that it just thins the cell activator and more cells come through. I was really trying to do it on this bit here. I've got some cells come through in the centre, but not loads. So I really like that patch. You've got some really lovely large cells next to some really tiny ones. So yeah, I'm feeling more optimistic about this one. So I'm back when it's dry. So they're both now dry and they are both completely different. This was the first one. I'm not happy with the first one. Just look how swimmy it is. The colours were just so runny. It's all gone, it's just all very fluid, lots of motion. I'm going to use this canvas for something, but you haven't got the structure of the cells and the lacing that I was wanting. I think it could still look quite cool for what I want to do, but I much prefer the other one. So that one I'm going to put away, do something with that later. So this was the second one, and I've got the cells and I've got the lacing that I was wanting. This is I'm much happier with it. I like how I've got all the swipes in different places. So not just from the edges, but you've got some swipes from the centre. So this is the one I'm going to use for the next step. So the next step, I've got here leaves from the garden from outside, and then I've also cut out some leaves and some acorns and some winter things. So the next thing I'm going to do is place them onto my canvas, draw around them, and then I'm going to be painting in where the negative space is. I'm going to have some overlapping, so I think I'm going to do a bit of shadowing, a bit of shading. I'm not actually quite sure yet. I'll see how it goes really. So here is the end result and I love it. I'm so happy with it. It's not quite as I intended it to be. So I had thought about doing some overlapping leaves and some shading, but it just didn't pan out that way. It just didn't ever happen. So let me go in close up and show you. In fact, I've just seen a mistake. So on all the acorns, I've done a little bit of embellishing, but I've missed that one. I've just suddenly seen it as I started filming. I need to get do some little bit of work on that. I love the fact that you've got such variation in leaves, and I love the fact that a lot of these leaves are real leaves from outside that I've drawn around. You've got such variation in the colours. I painted on very faintly, very thinly, the spines on all the leaves, and just a little bit of detail on the acorn, because I think it just made it look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more lifelike. I love having the acorns. I'm so glad I found that image online. The colours are just incredible. They're just so bright and vibrant. There's a really strange looking bit, which is this, a really bright yellow line going through. Oh, that's the pinger, my dinner's ready. It's just so warm and happy and autumnal, so really happy with it. Please let me know what you think. Please leave me a comment. Oh, and the other bit to show you is I wrapped the leaves around the sides, which I think works really well. I've still got the push pins in the back, so it's continuous, so the autumn leaves are just falling over the edge of the canvas. Great, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel. If you do, hit the notification bell and then press all, and that means you get all notifications for future videos. Great, take care everyone. Bye.